Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm King Sway, and welcome back to King Sway Entertainment. Today we have Power Scaling Gear 5th, and in-depth analysis of Luffy's Devil Fruit Awakening, One Piece analysis. This comes as a suggestion from Zero Savage 22, and I don't know anything about this. I'm just saying let's just get into it. Also, this is the 5th video today. Y'all got 5 today. Y'all got 3 yesterday. That's 8. I might do some more tomorrow, but y'all spoiled. Nah, let's jump into this.
Spoiled, then get out. If you don't mind spoilers, then here you go. Luffy's Devil Fruit is the mythical zone fruit of the sun god Nika. By awakening this power, he can turn his surroundings to rubber and manipulate his body as much as he wants to whatever extent that he wants. Gone are the days of having to copy the martial arts of Tom and Jerry. Gone are the days of cosplaying Sasuke's energy levels. Say goodbye to the inferior forms known as Bound Man and Snake Man. Say hello to the new improved zone transformation called Gear 5th, and his most powerful attack themed after the Indian god Hanuman, his Bajrangan. Hello Internet, Jojo here, and as I said before, we are talking about Gear 5th and calculating the power of Luffy's Bajrangan. Now, Gear 5th is by far Luffy's best form, and is actually his only true transformation, being that it is a zone transformation. Until now, Luffy's transformations were honestly a work of genius that only Luffy could pull off because of his incredibly creative, and let's be honest, sacrificial personality. Luffy's combat style and creativity has always been restricted by his Devil Fruit limits, but Luffy found ways to get around those limits by sacrificing his own life force. What Gear 5th is an answer to everything he, and us as a fanbase, ever wanted. Think about it. All the things that Luffy might have wanted to do, but hasn't been able to do because of the limits of his Devil Fruit. Not only did Gear 5th take him beyond his previous peak physically, easily making him stronger than Bound Man and faster than Snake Man, his 2 previous peaks, but also allows him to reach a much higher peak in terms of his Haki usage. Before this, his Gear 4th form put a massive strain on his body and Haki, but even with the strain of Gear 4th, Luffy was still easily one of the strongest characters in the franchise. Now, he can reach levels of power and speed that are, at the very least, on par with Gear 4th, but without the strain on his body and mind that Gear 4th had. However, this is just the minimum result of Gear 5th. Given Luffy's creativity, I can't imagine that he doesn't have a new idea for a form that he couldn't do before. Heck, maybe it will be something similar to Gear 4th, but stacked on top of Gear 5th, making it, Gear 6 or something. Gear 5th can turn into anything, and there is still so much potential just from the physical side of Gear 5th alone. In the Road to Laughter, a behind-the-scenes look at Wano, Oda stated that Gear 5th gets stronger the more Luffy laughs, and Luffy laughs a lot when...
I don't know about that last part, but I'm gonna say that Luffy should be actually very powerful. The thing about being rubber is actually what he does during his gear shifts. You can restructure your muscles. And by restructuring your muscles, you can give yourself super strength and super speed. Which, obviously, he's doing. Excuse me. But if you do it in such a way where he's using his Hake, then yet, along with that, to help reinforce his body, which I'm assuming this Gear 5th does, it can be a devastating combination. Tsunade's we call it over here, we call it the God Fist. Tsunade's God Fist technique, charging energy into her palm, and then at a point of impact she expels it, and it has devastating effects. Imagine if somebody like the Raikage used the God Fist, is what I'm saying. Far physically superior than Tsunade. And I feel as though that's what they're about to get at with this. I may be wrong. Let's see.
In Gear 5th. Now, there is no stated limit as to how powerful he can become from laughing, nor is it stated to reset when he leaves the form. Luffy's awakening also allows him to create extra limbs,
I
specifically
was waiting
extra
on that too.
arms. Depending on how many arms Luffy can make, he could do everything multiple times faster or more times at the same level of power that he could do with 2 arms. Let me put this in perspective. Imagine a Kong Gatling with 4 additional arms attacking.
That reminds me, the game is called Asura's Wrath. He starts off, he's got 2 arms, but in one of his transformation moves, he gets 6. And in that, you have to imagine that each arm, the extra arms, are just as powerful as the original 2. And for those of you that haven't seen the feats of Asura in Asura's Wrath, go look that up. Go look it up. Dude is insanely powerful. Like, he beat the crap out of Kratos, powerful. And Kratos is powerful. If you doubt what I'm saying, I may do an analysis of that one day, but let me put it to you like this. One of the very first bosses he fights after coming back alive, the guy makes himself bigger than the earth and then uses his pointer finger to come down and attack Asura. Asura looks at it, grabs it, stops it, and throws it off to the side, and then still beats the crap out of this guy. Continuing.
On top of all the physical stat increases, Luffy's awakening also allows him to grab lightning, but he didn't actually just grab one. He grabbed one and spun around it like a pole dancer, a feat that I calculated to be about 2 times the speed of light, but it's probably best calculated using the anime when that happens so we have more context. Luffy literally used intangible energy as a toy. And in case you forgot, because it's been a while since Skypiea, lightning is hot, nearly 5 times the energy of the sun. This means that not only is Luffy super heat resistant,
You would have. Okay, I made the face that I did because when they do things, you gotta take it as canon. But also, in the 6th Resident Evil gameplay video that I just posted, I take the point to talk about perception and dodging as opposed to actual speed in dodging. I feel as though more so in anime it's perception. I see that you're about to attack, I move just before you attack, and then as I'm moving you attack and it misses me. As opposed to I see you're attacking and I move and then in me in doing so I'm like faster than the speed of light. It's a physics thing and I do that a lot. And I think that's not actually accounted for properly with a lot of these things. And rubber is very resistant to electricity. I will give you that. But as far like it is incredibly hot, and that still is that true lightning? Was that some, or was that just something someone bolted off, just shot off? Was it true lightning or was it an energy attack? Because take into consideration what an actual lightning bolt does to its surroundings. If it's not doing that same thing to its surroundings, then no.
there's also no reason to think that he could not grab fire or clouds. After all, even Doflamingo could use his Delphoid to grab clouds. Heck, even air shouldn't be that much of an issue for Luffy to grab. And if you forgot, grabbing objects and turning it into rubber is not exclusive to inanimate objects. Luffy also did it to Kaido himself. By turning his opponent to rubber, Luffy can get a grip so strong that Kaido, the beast himself, couldn't break free, even after turning into a giant flame dragon that was hot enough to melt one of Onigashimi's horns in only a few seconds. This would require a heat of over 1,670 degrees Celsius. That's hotter than most magma, Heck, Luffy tanked many blasts hot enough to vaporize bone, and bone evaporates at nearly 3,642 degrees Celsius. Not to mention that the object that Luffy turns rubber becomes way stronger. His awakening was able to give part of Onigishima's skull the strength to not only tank Kaido's blast breath, something that we know he can vaporize as it was part of the skull, but Luffy also managed to rebound the blast back at Kaido. Yeah, I think one of the most notable aspects of Gear 5th that we barely touched on is its ability to increase its user's size at will. What was once a Tom and Jerry routine.
How do you rebound something that's not corporeal? This is the part where I speak on anime bullshit. It's energetic projection. It doesn't have a physical form. And since it doesn't have... I guess the best I'm going to have to deal with that is when he grabbed the lightning. On a technical basis, lightning does not have a physical corporeal form. It's straight energy. That's actually something yeah, it's not something I'm real good with anime. When I say I'm not real good with it, I mean I don't like it. Like it defies physics, and when things start to get into physics defying dimensions, I start calling bullshit, because then it becomes hard to scale these feats within actual metrics.
Routine is now a simple action. From becoming large enough to play jump rope with a dragon, to creating a gigantic fist that punched downward at lightning speeds, a punch so powerful it can be felt 1,000 miles away and cause a volcano to erupt. There are at least 4 ways to calculate this punch. First is the obvious way, pixel measurements. By calculating the size of the fist compared to the island, we find that the fist knuckles are about 4.7 kilometers wide. Then we can use this image after Luffy punched Kaido to find that Luffy's fist has a volume of about 172 cubic kilometers. There's more math into this, but in the end we get a weight of about 174 trillion kilograms. Next, we can take this statement from the Road to Laugh-Tale and assume that his punch speed was comparable to that of a lightning bolt, 224,000 miles per hour. Doing this, we get a punch energy about 209 teratons of TNT. Impressive, but not particularly anything special, especially considering the next calculations. Next, we'll calculate the energy of the earthquake. Like I mentioned before, in the Road to Laugh-Tale, Oda stated that the reverberations from the Bajrang gun could be felt 1,000 miles away. Now, the wording does imply that it was very loud or the shockwave was that strong, but outside that, there's little to suggest that that is the case. We never see anything supporting that in the manga. There's no mention of it being loud and no mention of the blast being strong. However, there is a mention of a quake, so that's what I think was felt 1,000 miles away. Now, we need to determine the magnitude of the quake that is being felt. I think from this statement, we are looking at a magnitude 4 or 5, so for the sake of argument, we will use a magnitude 4 quake. Plugging these numbers into the formula and converting the miles to meters, we find the quake caused by his punch must have been a magnitude 14.39. A quake of this magnitude would have a power of 58.94 petatons of TNT. This is a number that is so high that it's really difficult to find a way to quantify it in a way that makes sense for normal people who don't spend day in and day out doing this. But just so you know, this is massively powerful, could easily wipe life from the planet. Of course, we could also go with a 4.5 to split the difference between 4 and 5 magnitude quakes, but I don't want to. That's more math that I don't want to have to do. However, what if I told you there was a way to get an accurate result without using the Road to Laugh-Tale? After all, the Bajrang gun did force a volcano to erupt. Considering that volcanoes will only erupt from a 6 magnitude quake, we can assume the quake was a magnitude 6 at the epicenter of the eruption. But we need to know the distance the volcano is from the quake's epicenter. And here's where it gets complicated. During Odin's flashback, we are told that at one point Wano had a forest that stretched as far as the eye can see. Now, we know that the distance to the horizon as far as they can see in One Piece is 50 kilometers. That gives mainland Wano a diameter of about 100 kilometers, and the distance to Onigishima's original location, where we are going to assume the volcano is about 49 kilometers. Using this quake formula, we find that for an earthquake to be magnitude 6, 49 kilometers away from the epicenter, the quake at the epicenter must be a magnitude 13.88. An earthquake of this power would have an energy of 9 petatons of TNT. Impressive, but still, doesn't sit right with me. You see, when a magnitude 6 quake causes a volcano, it's generally a chain reaction caused by shifting tectonic plates
Tectonic
that
plates,
eventually
yeah.
leads to the volcano eruption a few days later. The thing is, this volcano erupted in like 10 minutes at most. This means that energy volcano's epicenter was much more powerful than a simple magnitude 6. Now recently, a underwater volcano, very similar to what we see here, called Tonga erupted. NASA calculated Tonga to be between 4 and 18 megatons, but they seem to have rested on the energy of 10 megatons, which converts to magnitude 7.9. For a quake to be felt as a 7.9 over 49 kilometers away, the quake at the epicenter would need to be a magnitude 15.7. So this quake would be worth over 7.07 exatons of TNT, nearly 25% of the needed energy to destroy the moon. Guys, quakes are no joke. They are just no joke.
I don't disagree with
They get so
that.
powerful so quickly, even with a slight change. Before you freak out and say, oh, it's not consistent, it is. It's very consistent with methods we've gone over before. To get a power like this using the 100-mile statement, you would only need a magnitude a tiny bit over a 5. This is definitely within the realm of possibility, as it is also consistent with Luffy busting Don Qingjiao's head, as Don Qingjiao split an entire continent that was nearly as hard as diamond. So at the least, this punch is easily in the petaton range with a mid-tier range of 7.07 exatons of TNT. But there's still something else here I want to bring up. Guys, everyone has been freaking out about the Bajrang gun, but Oda has a habit with his attacks. Do you know what habit I'm referring to? Think about it. Gum Gum Pistol, Gum Gum, Gatling, Gum Gum King Kong Gun, Gum Gum Kong Gatling, Red Rock, Rock Gatling, Bajrang Gun, Bajrang Gatling. Can you see it? I can 100% see this happening. That's just how Oda does his stuff.
I don't disagree.
In terms of actual numbers, I'd say that Luffy is functionally at least 3 times more powerful than both Bowman and Snakeman, just from his ability to manifest 4 extra limbs. However, I would not use that as a straight up multiplier because it does function differently than one. Even if we had some sort of standard multiplier for zone forms, that wouldn't really apply here, as the Nika fruit is so different when compared to other fruits. It is by far the most unique fruit that we have seen in the series so far. So whatever the case is, it is unquestionable that Luffy's Gear 5th is his peak for now. But with that said, guys, thank you for watching. See you next time. Remember to stay spectacular. JoJo, out.
I'm not sure I agree with his calculations. But then again, as I said, with the way they do things in anime and manga, the things don't always add up. Because if one of the things he said was he's using 25% of the energy that had to be used to destroy the moon. If I'm hitting you with that and it's colliding with the Earth, you are shifting everything. You're not just hitting that ground and you got waves coming around. You're cracking things. You're splitting things. You're causing plates. You're going to cause tectonic problems. You're going to cause quakes all over, not just at that island, but a volcano erupting ain't going to be the worst of your worries. It's yeah, no, it's yeah. But I guess that's the point where you got to look into hiccups. The fantasy aspect of things, because we all that's where I say things don't line up. You're using real world calculations, and by using real world calculations with lightning and that, but applying it, and then things don't work that the way there's okay, like one lightning strikes. Okay, can you grab lightning? Hell no, but it'll burn the shit out you. But Luffy can grab lightning. Like that. That's what I'm like. It's this. It's the inconsistencies for cool factor. Actually, technically, you can grab lightning. What you would need, and I just thought about it. It's kind of like a lightsaber. What we need to do is encapsulate it in an electromagnetic field to keep it stabilized, so where none of the energy is dissipated. And then when you wrap your hand around the lightning, you're becoming one with that electromagnetic field that keeps it contained. So technically, and it keeps it in that form. So technically, you are grabbing lightning. I told you I wasn't joking. I have a degree in physics, bro. Like physics, quantum physics, and I study quantum physics. Like this, that's why I don't agree with a lot of calculations. It's you can look up numbers all day long, but unless you actually understand the physics and the math behind it, it's just fancy words. And I know a lot of these guys, a lot of these people that watch this kind of stuff, they actually don't look the stuff up or even try to understand it. That's actually why I don't agree with some of the things that Death Battle does. When you look at it from a I was about to say quantum physics standpoint, it's like no. Again, this is why I do not agree with the Deku versus Asta thing. Like I said, Deku should have won that. And I state in my Resident Evil 6 video that there were things that were not used. Now I had a commenter state that Asta didn't use the 10, and the 10 is supposed to amp his powers up. Okay, what they neglected to say was Asta has not mastered the 10, and his powers are not peak. And still, when asked, how do you stop me from slowing you down? No one had an answer for that. Not one. It was like, oh, well, he had all these power-ups. All well and good. How do you stop me from slowing you down? But all I gotta do is touch you. I slow you down and I speed me up at the same time. But I may look at more of this individual's content so that we can go over it. I don't know. I'll figure that much out myself. I haven't figured that out yet. I haven't seen Sauron versus the Lich King yet. That might be something I'll look into. I mean, the original Death Battle, not his analysis of it. But I'm not going. I'm still going over the numbers in my head, and think like I said, things are not adding up. But that's because, like I said, it's the anime world. It's just the numbers could be consistent, but like there's no consistency with the way the Earth itself reacts to such a force. So that's I guess for me that's a pet peeve with the inconsistencies. But that's I won't speak on that too much. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. I'm gonna end the video here before I start rambling on about physics and numbers and calculations and things. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, the notification button, and the bell. What that does is that lets me know you guys are picking up what I'm putting down and you guys are enjoying the content that I put out. Also, I do get a lot of guys watching these videos that are not subscribed. So I would like to actually change that and gain viewership so I can entertain as many people as possible, as I always say. What that also does is, even though it's free for you, it pushes the YouTube algorithm out so that people who are not aware of this channel can become more aware of it. And as I said, we can gain viewership over here. And like I keep saying, we can entertain as many people as possible. More guys can hit me with videos to react to. I can react to them and give you my analysis of it, or my my opinion on things. Down below in the description, there will be links to my merch shop. There's also links to my all the books that I currently have published. It's still a holiday season. Get something for yourself, get something for your loved ones, your friends, and your family, and help support the channel. We will greatly appreciate it over here. Also, I've been thinking about starting a Patreon lately. Comment down below if you think I should or shouldn't, and then give me reasons why, so I can go over them and then see what's happening with that. Yeah, I think that's about it. So in the meantime, in between time, I'm always with these peace signs. It's your main man, King Sway. I'll catch you in the next one.